Brittany's got some headlines for us. We're also streaming Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Make it plain.
Good morning, everyone. So, we might get to hear some details from Stormy Daniels after all. Her manager, Gina Rodriguez, says that Michael Cohen, Trump's lawyer, violated the terms of their non-disclosure agreement. Because if you recall, I reported yesterday that Cohen made a statement claiming to have paid Daniels the $130,000 settlement with his own money. So according to CNN, Rodriguez has said, quote, everything is off and Stormy is going to tell her story. We'll see about that. And the White House was reviewing an Obama-era proposal from the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, also known as the EEOC, and that would update federal guidance for employers on preventing workplace harassment. The proposal extends the interpretation of sex-based harassments to include harassment based on gender identity, sexual orientation, that's just to name a couple things. Given the history of Sessions and Betsy DeVos, though, rolling back in Obama-era guidance on allowing students to use the bathroom that corresponds with their gender identity, it is not surprising that civil rights advocates are fearful that this is not going to get approved.
All right. Thank you very much. Folks,
You're welcome.
Your reactions to Parkland, even though it's not going to make that much of a difference because they don't do nothing, they haven't done nothing. As Stevie said, you haven't done nothing. 866-99-SIRIUS. And also, we're on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. So if you want to also, if we can get you on the phone and you want to respond in the comment sections on either of our social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, all make it plain, feel free. 866-99-SIRIUS. Plenty of calls. Ladies first policy, as always, is in effect. Louise is in Pennsylvania. Louise, God bless you. Good morning. Get well. Get ready for impeachment. Go right ahead.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you. Your guests are fantastic, and you're great to listen to. But what I wanted to comment, I think I love listening to you. Anyway,
I love you too.
Oh, that
you late though. Valentine's Day was yesterday.
I know.
Well, where were you?
Valentine's. Now I got a comment. I worked all day.
We're going to extend Valentine's Day another day. Bless your heart.
You got to do that. Thank you. But this summer we had a fantastic opportunity to spend 2 weeks in Japan. And my big thing is talking to people. Of course, most of them just speak Japanese, but we were waiting in line at 3:30 in the morning for the really great sushi place in Tokyo. And I was fortunate that there was a girl standing beside me who could speak perfect English. So I asked her my usual questions, and she asked me questions. And then I said, she said she spoke English well because she had lived in the United States as a child. And, of course, they all went back to Japan. But anyhow, she said, so I said, she said she was 8. And I said, well, what were you thinking about moving to the U.S. when you were 8? And she said, oh, I was terrified. I said, really? She said, oh, yeah, I was terrified of the guns. I mean, this is 24 years ago, so we've had gun problems for a long time. She didn't want to come here, and when she got here, there was a shooting in her neighborhood. So added to that, but so that I thought that was interesting. In that I had read an article that when people come to the United States, there's lists of things that you should be afraid of, like when we go places, don't drink the water, blah blah blah. Usually on the list is that be careful because there's a lot of gun violence, especially if you're a darker skinned person, or if you're Japanese, or if you're so it's real. Other people see it. Everything impacts everything else. So that was my comment.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And just a minute. I'm going to go back for a minute. Let me go back because I saw something a minute ago. Somebody had done some type of stat on gun violence in other countries. Where was that? And how it's just not the same. Oh, I'd give anything I can find it. You see, stuff. Thing about Twitter, stuff pops up and then you lose it. But it was a hell of a graphic. Somebody see if you can find that for me. But there was a hell of a graphic on Twitter about the proliferation or lack thereof of gun violence in other countries, and we need to really need to deal with that because it's just not happening in other places the way it's happening here by any stretch of the imagination. So we want to keep that in mind. Hey, listen, thank you. Okay.
Well, thank you for everything.
All right.
Okay.
Take care now. Enjoy your day. Lana's in California. Lana, God bless you. Good morning. Get well. Get ready for impeachment.
I know I said I called yesterday. I was in Texas, and I'm the trucker. I just delivered my load in California.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm on my way to go get my produce.
Yes, ma'am.
But I had to call. I just tuned you in because I was just on the dock delivering my chicken, and I was just first of all, thank you for playing Stevie Wonder. Gets my blood pumping again. So I've been up all night. And so thank you for that. I love your music. You play the best music. Thank you for your serenade yesterday, too, for Valentine's. That was very sweet. Also, I went to high school in Marshall County in Kentucky, and they had a shooting in like the very end of January. And I was so blown away by it, you know, and I talked to my brother, who is unfortunately a Trump supporter, and you know, and I made the comment that, you know, my first thought when I found out about it was, oh my God, you know, I can't believe it happened in my high school. You know, it's a very small county, you know, and it's the only high school in an entire county. You know, that's how, you know, small it is. And I just thought, but I don't know why I ever thought that something like that could never happen in my high school, because, you know, it's Western Kentucky. There is just as many, you know, unhinged gun nuts there as anywhere else in the country. So I don't know why I ever thought that. And I said that to my brother, and he about came unglued on me. And then he gave me the riot act on, you know, saying something unkind about Cheeto. Cheetolini.
Cheetolini.
I want to call him Cheetolini, or, you know, I call him Cheeto D, but, you know. But anyway, so then when that happened yesterday, I was like, oh my God, you know. And my thought then was exactly what you were saying. They're going to say, they've already said it. Our thoughts and prayers go out to you. Let's have a moment of solace, and all this garbage that's just nothing but paying lip service to the problem, you know, because they're so terrified of the NRA and so terrified of all the gun nuts in this country that they don't dare say anything. You know, they don't even want to discuss, you know, thousands and thousands of deaths,
right,
you know, that we have every year, and of gun violence in this country. And we're like, what, 10% of the population of the world? We have by far, you know, I mean, we eclipse every other country in the world with gun violence. I mean, I think we're second only to, you know, some places like, I don't know, just like third world countries where there's civil unrest, for crying out loud.
Well, it ain't even as bad there as it is here. It's out of control. And what's the real S-hole country? That's the question we need to be asking ourselves.
Well, there you go. There you go. And I'm so sick of hearing that your thoughts and prayers are with us. Yeah, well, how about
thoughts and prayers, over and over again.
It doesn't protect anybody. It doesn't prevent one single life from being taken needlessly and senselessly from gun violence.
Yeah.
And you need an AR-15 for. You can't use it to hunt. The only purpose of that weapon is to kill. That's it.
Yeah.
It is a military-grade weapon, and the only purpose for it, it was designed for one purpose and one purpose only, to murder as many human beings as possible in the shortest span of time.
You're right.
And it's appalling. It's absolutely appalling.
Lana, thank you. Be safe on that road.
I had to call and say my piece.
No, you're always welcome to call, and thank you for saying your piece. Be careful on that road, okay?
Thank you, honey. I appreciate it.
All right, take care. Love you too. All right, Rachel's in Michigan. Ladies first. Rachel, God bless you. Good morning. Get ready for impeachment, Rachel.
Thank you for taking my call. First-time caller.
Welcome.
I'm just waking up this morning. I'm on my way to work, and I'm just trying to. It's so hard just to make sense of this all anymore. I mean, how many times have we been here before? I'm a union activist, a union employee. I try to fight for, you know, doing the right thing for people. But at this point now, it's just like, how do we move forward instead of, I just feel like shutting down. And then thinking about 17 families this morning are planning their children's funeral. You know, I have a niece who's in fourth grade. She's scared to go to school. I have to lie to her and say it's okay. I don't know if it's going to be okay. What do we do? How do we move forward?
Well, we have to vote.
That's true.
And the importance of that is we've got to vote people out of office that continue to be bankrolled by the NRA and continue to be intimidated by the NRA. That's really where it's at. I mean, that's about all we can do. Because this Congress is not going to change any laws. This president's not going to change any laws. They're going to continue to act as if this is okay. And that's the problem. And we can no longer participate in that. That's the least we can do. And we just got to do it. We have to vote with, we have to pray with, there's an expression called praying with our feet. All right? And that's getting to the polls, getting registered to vote, voting. That's what we're going to have to do.
Right. Okay. Thank you. We'll do that. I'll keep moving forward. It's just a sad day. I mean, I hope, how many more. I hope we don't have any more. I don't know.
Yeah.
We will.
Yeah. Well, no, we're going to have more. It's inevitable. This is America.
Right.
That's the reality. Thank you for your call.
Thank you.
All right. I'm coming, folks. The FBI, according to BuzzFeed, was warned about a school shooting threat from a YouTube user named Nicholas Cruz in September. In September, a YouTube user named Nicholas Cruz left a comment on a video stating, "I'm going to be a professional school shooter." The video's creator alerted both the FBI and YouTube. So the video creator was interviewed by the FBI in person on September 25th. And they reached out to him again, Ben Benight, after the 19-year-old named Nicholas Cruz carried out the deed on yesterday. In the wake of the deadly shooting, questions have emerged over whether officials and acquaintances have missed warning signs about the alleged shooter, a former student who was expelled from the high school last year for disciplinary reasons. Though his name matches the YouTube user flagged in September, FBI officials would not say whether they have confirmed that the account belonged to Cruz. But around 4:30 p.m. on Wednesday, about 30 minutes after Cruz was taken into custody by police in Broward County, Special Agent Ryan Furr with the FBI's Miami field office called Benight and left him a voicemail. And this is what the voicemail message said, apparently. "I think we spoke with you in the past about a complaint that you made about someone making a comment on your YouTube channel. I just wanted to follow up with you on that and ask you a question with something that's come up, if you wouldn't mind giving me a ring." So is this the same person? The Nicholas Cruz YouTube account remained active until Wednesday evening. It has since been deleted. However, due to multiple or severe violations of YouTube's policy on violence. So we don't know whether or not this is the same person, but it's circumstantial. There can be a circumstantial argument that it is. More of your calls, 866-99-SIRIUS, 866-997-47. We're going to move quickly, folks. We want to try to get as many people in as possible. Charles in Miami. Charles, God bless you. Good morning. Get well. Get ready for impeachment.
Hey, how you doing? Good morning, Mike.
Uh-huh.
My thing is this. I rode down University Boulevard yesterday, University Drive yesterday, and I turned on West.
How far is Parkland from Miami?
I guess takes me like almost 40 minutes on,
Okay.
35 to 40 minutes on the turnpike.
Okay.
I was down there doing some business yesterday, and just to see if you drive or terrace. I mean, somebody from that area would tell you, but it's like not too far away from the Sawgrass Expressway. Like another, I guess, like from one main street light down to the next. But anyway, I rode down Westview Terrace, and I saw all those cars lined up on the side of the road, and I just knew instantly those had to be the parents. That's probably where they parked at to walk over, to get to the school. And I mean, I grew up in the city. I lived in an urban neighborhood, so I've seen violence, but it just hits you like, this is it can't be happening here, But I feel like until we get to that point where the leadership, where the Democrats are going to say, well, just like on the playground, you got a bully and you say one more time, or you do it try it once again, and you're going to see what's going to happen. And until we get that out of the leadership, then we're going to still keep on going through all of it, And then you got to blame.
Get that out of what leadership? Did you say the Democratic leadership?
Yeah, our leadership. Yes. Because,
but it's not the Democrats who are promoting and perpetuating this gun culture.
Well, what I'm trying to say is until we finally just all come together, and I'm a liberal, so I'm talking about the conservative Democrats, the middle of the road people, and we bring along a couple of Republicans, or independents, or whoever. But until we I don't know if we got to stop everything from happening here, and we got to shut down the government, or whatever it takes, because it's too much. I'm a parent. I got grandkids, and trust me, that would be the worst things in my life if I ever had to go.
Well, you can imagine what all these people are going through. It is horrible. It is horrible and horrifying. Thank you, man. 86699 says Kevin's in Maryland. Kevin, God bless you. Good morning. Get ready for impeachment, Kevin.
Hey, Mark, I've always called you, and I've called this maybe my fifth time calling. I'm always a good listener. But I just want to say this: until everything you said, hit it on the head. If your listeners are listening to what you're saying, we need to vote the Republicans out of office. That's going to change, because as long as they're beholden to the NRA, this is going to continue to happen. Obama said we'll become numb to this.
Right.
And I'm gonna tell you, Mark, I am pissed, because we can sit here and be at pissed off all day long, but until we get our asses out here and vote this, it ain't gonna change. My daughter didn't go to school today because a young lady posted on the thing. She's intrigued about what happened. How the hell can you be intrigued about something like this?
A young lady at your daughter's school said she was intrigued about what happened.
Yes. What the hell? So my daughter, guess where my daughter at, Mark? My daughter's at home right now, and that's why I think she's as safe as that right now. And that's what I'm saying. They put this
Did other parents keep their kids home too?
Huh? Some of them did. One of the parents is going up to the school, but it should have been the police. Everything should have been at the school this morning. But what I'm saying is this, and I'm pissed off.
But this is important. So what is the school saying about this little girl who said?
Mark, I had to come to. I don't even know. I'm waiting to hear from my wife, who knows someone who's going to. Two parents is going up there, so we haven't heard nothing from the school yet. You know what I'm saying? We haven't heard nothing from the school yet. But what I'm saying is they perpetuate this shit on the TV. They show the people getting. You post a gun going off in the school. Kids ducking under the desk. Why do we need to see that? Why do we need to hear gunfire in school? Why do the media put this shit on TV? It's ridiculous. We know what happened. Stop putting this person on a pedestal, and let's what we need to do. I'm literally upset. But what we need to do is vote these damn Republicans out. And AR-15 is to kill people. How many people use that gun to shoot a goddamn deer? No one. And I'm getting sick and tired of every time something happens, my prayers, we send our condolences, like Marco Rubio. The hell with you, Marco Rubio. Vote his ass out of office. He's in Florida. Why don't we vote, man? Until we vote and our kids stop getting killed and we can't even send our kids to school, the Republicans are so goddamn hypocritical. They can go against abortion. I want abortion to stay legal, but yet they send these people out, they vote these Republicans in here. I can't get a gun and go kill your baby that you voted for the person to be in office to support the NRA. So how is that protecting anybody's lives? You're so hell bent on this abortion right. A woman don't have a right to choose. The hell with that. What about you supporting these Republicans who in the pocket of the NRA, who allow your kid to get an AR-15, an AR-15 or whatever the goddamn number is?
Marco Rubio and Rick Scott have received A+ ratings and endorsements from the NRA. So they're in on this. Hey, man, I appreciate your passion. Glad you kept your daughter home. Keep us posted about that, okay?
I will.
All right, doctor. Take care of yourself. Juan's in Florida. Juan, God bless you. Good morning. Get woke. Get ready for impeachment.
Thank you for taking my call, Mark. So just let me preface by saying I love your show. I'm an independent, registered independent, but I lean to the left.
Can you have us on speaker? Because we can barely hear you.
Well, let me get you on. On the mic here. How's that? Is that better?
Yeah, much better.
Okay. So whenever I get the opportunity to talk to people, see, I'm in the gun culture. I used to be in the military. I was also a teacher for 5 years, and I believe in gun control. I think a lot of red flags were left unnoticed by the principal, who all they did was expel the student and didn't report anything to the police and things of that nature. But, with respect, I have to say, like, gun control, I'm 100% for, but saying to somebody like me, a law-abiding citizen, or somebody in Wisconsin who doesn't have access to police, to say you're not allowed to get a gun, I definitely oppose that.
Well, that's not even the context of anything right now. The context is, I don't know what you're talking about. And people in Wisconsin have police, so that's not true. But I don't even understand. I don't even understand what you're saying. We're talking about innocent children being killed at a school. And something has to be done about that.
Right.
But those who dismiss it and say we have to live this way and say that we have to do it for the sake of the NRA and the Second Amendment are complicit in these young people's death. That's what I'm saying.
All right, I'm going to have to disagree with you a little bit on that. I agree there should be gun control. I don't know why he was allowed to take a gun at 18 years old after being expelled for showing guns in school. Okay, this makes no sense to me. And I appreciate your opinion, and this is what it's all about. Having a discourse where we're not going to change each other's mind, but let's try to understand each other.
We're not going to be milk toast and mealy mouthed about this either, and swinging. We need to be emphatically against gun violence, whatever it takes. That's really the only conversation that needs to be had right now. Whatever it takes to end this is what is necessary. And if it means going to the extreme and some of y'all realizing you don't need these guns, we don't need them, it's not necessary, it's silly, then that's what we have to do. If that saves people's lives, that's what we got to do. Damn a hobby. Damn hunting.
Can we start by sensible gun control first before we go to the extreme? Can we make a registry?
I don't understand why we even having this conversation. You realize people's children got killed, man. That's so doggone insensitive for you to come here and be like, well, can we just do this little sensible? Man, was yesterday sensible? Has anything been sensible? Is there anything sensible about any of this? And to be concerned about you being able to keep your guns, I think is truly insensitive. Truly insensitive.
I can respect how you feel about that, and
it's not how I feel. That's what it is.
If you feel that I'm being insensitive, I apologize for that.
But that's what it is. That's what it is. It's not just how I feel. That's what it is. I mean, who gives a damn about your gun rights today? How are your gun rights even important today? Why and how are they important, Juan? What part of Florida? You live in Florida. How close are you to this? What city are you in?
20 miles away. I'm about 20 miles.
And you want to talk about being sensible about? No, dude. I mean, I hear you. I think you're probably a decent person,
I'm upset.
but you're dead wrong on this one, man.
I'm upset. See, this is the point where We need to come together. We need to find common ground. I'm upset just as
There's
you
but
are
see, but
that
common
some
ground.
knucklehead-
There's only one place to go. Those of you who are still running around in this culture need to come to the common ground everybody else is. This has to stop. Whatever it takes to stop it has to happen. Period. That's the only common ground there is. Well, all this other stuff, we got to no. No. Time's up for that. Time's up for that. It's too dangerous. It's crazy.
How are we going to progress if people aren't coming together to try to work things out?
There's only one thing that needs to be worked out is that this needs to stop. This is not about your rights anymore.
But if you're saying it's not about my rights anymore, and I'm saying, and I'm not saying this completely, but to say that I'm on one side and you're on the other, we're never going to get anywhere if we're
because you're not on the right side. I'm on the right side. You're on the silly side. That's silly.
Okay, see, you don't need to attack my opinion about
You don't need to attack these victims with your personal need to have a gun. That is not even for you to even bring this up today is inappropriate and insensitive.
When I first started this conversation, Mark, I said I was upset about him being able to get a gun. That was my first thing. I never said anything about the victims. I'm not talking about thoughts and prayers. I'm talking about finding ways so that people like him don't ever get a gun again. That's what I'm talking about, Mark. I don't want people that have a propensity for
Who'd you
violence.
vote for president?
Who did I vote for president?
Yeah.
Democratic three terms in a row after I became a citizen.
Who'd you vote for in 2016?
Hillary Clinton.
You vote for Marco Rubio down in Florida?
Don't vote for Marco Rubio. I mean, like I said,
you vote for Rick Scott?
No, I don't vote.
All right, well, that's good. Well, that's good. You're doing the right thing. You're doing the right thing right there. But really, to me, it's beyond negotiating people's hobbies. The NRA uses your hobbies as cover to enable people like this shooter.
Well, yeah, I don't agree with saying, like this. It is ridiculous. You and I can agree on that. We can be on the same page with that where, somebody who just got suspended from school, got expelled from school and allegedly saying I'm going to be a professional gun shooter was able to get a gun at 18 or 19, however old he was when he got it. That's crazy. So you and I can find common ground, and it is a sensitive issue, and I understand that everybody's upset. You know what I mean? I try to tell my daughters the same thing. They went to school. We live 20 miles away from that area. It was on the news all day, especially here in Florida. We couldn't change the channel without that. And the reason why I call because I listen to you a lot, and you talk about how you have courage talking to people that don't agree with you. I agree with you 95% of the time. I just had the courage enough to say, this is the part where we need to talk. We need to find common ground because you and I agree with more stuff than not.
All right, okay, I gotta go. But it takes courage to deprioritize that hobby too and let that stuff go. 20 minutes for the hour. We need to take a break. Do we? Yeah. All right, we'll take a break. Jorge Odebaldo is gonna do it. We'll get to other calls. Frank's the NRA member. We'll talk to Frank. We see everybody. We'll get to everybody. But only common ground is ending this. 20 minutes before the hour. Sirius XM Progress 127. We're streaming Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We'll stay on the stream. As a matter of fact, while we're in the break, I may take a call or two on the stream. So just stay tuned just so we keep it going. We don't have a lot of time left in the show. And then we'll come back on the radio in 2 minutes. We'll stay on the stream, though. Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Make it plain. Sirius XM Progress 127. This is MIP.
The time is up.
All right. Frank's in North Carolina. Frank, God bless you. Good morning. Get ready for impeachment real quick for me.
Yeah, a quick lifetime member of the NRA, and I was appalled by what happened yesterday, and I cried for those victims. However,
there is no however.
However, though, I want to explain something. There was an Obama gun policy in place that Trump reversed, and he deleted it because it was too far abroad and overreaching, and it had Social Security disability examiners deeming people who are unable to manage their finances as mentally ill. Like a grandmother who can't balance her checkbook would not be allowed to own a gun. A feeble-minded man who couldn't add up 2 plus 2 on his checkbook would be denied the right to go hunting or go shooting at the range. It was so broad and sweeping, there was no hearings. Nobody had any say. It was a $10 an hour disability examiner saying, oh, this person is mentally ill. Therefore, they'll never own a gun for life ever again. And that's why Trump reversed it, because it was so broad and overreaching. Now, I agree something should be done about what happened, but I can tell you that policy Obama had in place wasn't worth a damn.
Yeah, I just looked that up on Snopes. That's not entirely true. But be that as it may, that's not the cause of what happened on yesterday. And, Snopes is saying part of what you're saying is true, part of what you're saying isn't in terms of that Obama-era policy. But, again, that wasn't the cause of what happened yesterday, and we shouldn't even be distracted by that. We have got to end this culture of gun violence in this country for the sake that exists for the sake of the NRA and the gun manufacturers to make money. That's what this is. That's all this is about, and we got to do something to end it. I got to roll, Frank, because I'm coming back on the radio. Coming back on the radio like now, I guess. That's out of the stream.
Esto es Make It Plain, M-I-P, with Matsimela Matfumo, Marcos Thompson. Despiértate.
It's Jorge Jueves. Jorge Olivado is here with us on a somber day in the wake of the Parkland shooting. My brother, how are you, man?
I'm well, Mark. I think I was trying to listen to a conversation you were having. I don't know if it was on the air or not, but with the man who said that he was a little skeptical about what's going on because, there was this earlier law that said grandmas couldn't have guns because they couldn't balance a checkbook. I don't know if I would want a grandma to have a gun. There are a lot of people in this country that I don't think deserve to have a gun. And
don't need a gun, not even about deserve. We don't need all these guns.
There's no purpose for this gun. And there's specifically no purpose for an assault rifle to be in the hands of somebody who does not need one. Humans do not need one for any purpose other than for mass killings. And the fact that they're easily and readily available to several people, including someone like Nicholas Cruz. There was a report that just came out earlier today that said that he passed a background check. This guy who, according to family friends, was placed into counseling as a young kid because there was early signs of disturbances, he was still able to pass a background check. So what does that mean about the system that someone like him can fall through the cracks, have access to an AR-15, and then use that AR-15 to engage in one of the deadliest school shootings that we've ever witnessed? And it's sad to even say one of the deadliest because that means there have been multiple. And the reason there have been multiple is because politicians have done nothing to close this little loophole down.
Yeah. They won't do it, and they're not going to do it. And whatever it takes now. And you hunters, I'm sorry. More human beings are dying than the animals that you're killing that you shouldn't be killing and eating in the first place. How do you know it's time to switch to Dish? If your TV bill was an unpleasant surprise this month and last month and the month before, it might be time to switch to Dish. If you like to spend more time enjoying your favorite TV and less time on the phone with your cable company, it might be time to switch to Dish. That's because Dish is different. With a 2-year price guarantee, free installation, and hands-free TV, they've been ranked #1 in customer service nationally by J.D. Power and their customers. With recognition like that, it's a better time than ever to switch to Dish. Dish, tuned in to you. To learn more, 1-844-CALL DISH, dish.com, or visit a local retailer near you. For J.D. Power award information, visit jdpower.com. Requires credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Tax and surcharges not included. Other restrictions apply. For full details, 1-844-CALL DISH, 1-844-CALL DISH. This cannot go on. I don't care about hobby. I don't care about hunting. We have an obsession with guns. And I don't know that you can do this piecemeal either. The Second Amendment is obsolete. and it's just not, it's not serving us. The gun culture, the Second Amendment, the NRA are not serving us, Jorge.
No,
we are dying.
The NRA is serving Marco Rubio, and the NRA is serving all these Republicans.
Rick Scott.
We're more than happy to take hundreds of thousands of dollars from the NRA in order to continue on with their political careers. So for Marco Rubio, who I've always called as Tio Tomas on your show,
Tio Tomas,
the fact that he can, say, "Oh, my thoughts and prayers," and
That's
I'm
Spanish for Uncle Tom, y'all.
Let's
call it Spanish Uncle Tom, Marco Rubio.
And the fact that he's saying that he wants to do everything possible to make sure this never happens again, that's bull, because he hasn't yet. And none of his Republican colleagues have done anything to make anything safer. The saddest part about yesterday was, I was reading a lot of the different articles, and as much as it bothered me a little bit that they included the graphic video that was circulated by a student on Snapchat, where in the video, it's the kid in the classroom, and all you hear very closely is a round of ammunition just going off. Like, you could tell that the shooter is right outside. And then he goes on to show a video of a computer in his classroom full of bullet holes. If stuff like that is going to continue to happen, because obviously we're very obsessed with social media, people are very much connected online. If now that's the new normal, where we are going to be visually seeing children in this land of danger, which is a school classroom, is that going to do something? But I don't know if it will. I think everyone will always come to this consensus that if nothing happened after Sandy Hook, nothing's going to happen at all. And as much as that could be true, I think because we're continuing to assign to that, because we keep telling ourselves, well, nothing's going to be done, because of Sandy Hook. If something wasn't done after Sandy Hook, nothing's ever going to be done.
Right.
I think that does ourselves a disservice, because then we ourselves are already convincing ourselves that this is never going to happen, but it needs to happen.
Yeah.
And it needs us to remain vigilant. It needs us to continue to call our senators, call our congresspeople, call local officials who can do something. Because by all accounts, everybody was saying that Parkland, Florida was this very nice neighborhood, a good neighborhood where nothing like this could ever happen. But it did happen. And it did happen in Columbine, and it did happen in Aurora, and it did happen in all these places across the country, in San Bernardino. It happens no matter where you are. So either do something or wait until your community is the next one to be hit, because I guarantee you the way things are going, one of ours will.
Yeah, it's going to happen. 866-99-SIRIUS, 866-997-47. Plenty of calls. We want to get to as many of them as we can. Let's see. Marie is in Atlanta. Ladies first. Marie, God bless you. Good morning. Get woke. Get ready for impeachment.
Thank you for taking my call, Mark.
You're on with Jorge.
Yeah.
Sure.
Thank you, Jorge. And Jorge, I could not agree with you more about the need to encourage and engage our legislators to act. But unfortunately, the only way I can think to do that, and I've kind of had to move past the anger last night straight to, all right, what do we do? I think the devastating ad you run against every one of these congresspeople who has been supported and kept in office by the NRA, you run an ad for that particular district listing all of the names of the people who have died due to gun violence. And then you list all of the bills that person has either voted against that were to strengthen gun regulation, or any legislation that was to strengthen the ability to carry guns all the time, anywhere, any person. And you say, Congressman blank did not care about these people. What makes you think he cares about you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's the ad.
Good point. Thank you. Appreciate that, Marie. Trisha's in Kentucky. Trisha, God bless you. Good morning. Get ready for impeachment. You're on the air with Jorge Olivares. It's Jorge Jueves.
Good morning. People need to be willing to put down their guns to save a life. It's not about taking up arms. It's about putting down arms. I also just want to discuss, so if this is a mental health issue, and that's what people keep coming around to every one of these things, and trying to blame it on mental health. Well, if depression is involved and it is mental health, well, let's talk about that. What contributes to depression is hopelessness. Why are young adults and these teenagers hopeless because we quit investing in them. We are sold them out to corporations and to lobbyists, and we are not giving them the education, the resources, the teacher-student ratio, the mental health counseling. You know, counselors at school now can hardly do their job because they're required to do so many other things. And so they might get 15 minutes with a student, you know, and then the student feels dismissed, and that adds to the hopelessness. And
well, not to mention, Tricia, the majority of people who are mentally ill aren't running around shooting up folk, too. So we may be insensitive to the mentally ill, huh? So, or we need to redefine mentally. Are they mentally ill, or are the rest of us mentally ill, allowing these people to run around with guns and shoot up people? What is mentally ill? That's just like we may need to reevaluate what's an S-hole country.
Yes,
because all them countries he named, folks ain't running around shooting each other up in schools. So we need to flip the whole script.
It's a public health issue at this point. It's a public health issue.
Yeah.
And mental health, when it, you know, reaches at a certain level, that is a public health issue.
You're right.
And we can't even research it because the GOP will not fund research for public health and guns. It's, you know, it's just ridiculous how much they are owned by the NRA.
Thank you, Tricia. Enjoy your day.
Thank you.
Angela's in Florida. Angela, you're on there with Jorge Olivares. Jorge Jueves. Go right ahead, Angela. God bless you. Good morning. Get ready for impeachment.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you just fine.
Okay. So I'm a teacher in Florida, and I have children who are in middle school and high school. Two things.
What part of Florida are you in? How close were you to this incident?
About 4 hours. 4 hours. I'm in Central Florida. Children are not having consequences in school now. There are no consequences to their actions. And then they're not getting any kind of help once they've reached this point of being expelled or whatever. They're not getting additional help. The conversation that I had with my daughter and my son this morning is, what are you going to do if this happens at your school? What is your exit plan? What is your plan of action? Is there a closet in your classroom? Can you get in that classroom? I mean, this is a conversation I'm having with my children first thing in the morning. But it stems back to, we are not helping these kids the way they need to be helped. For a student to get expelled and nothing is done, there's no follow-through, no follow-up, that's the missing link.
Well, but see, to me, that help includes not just general help, because kids get expelled every day and they don't come back and shoot up school.
Yes, that's not the follow-through. There was something more going on.
Right. So with the way he...
The fact that a lot of the school officials were told specifically to watch out for him if he had a backpack, then you know that this guy needs extra attention.
Right.
And that he needs to be flagged far more than what other kids are being flagged.
And then in terms of the help he needs, it's a special attention because he's being radicalized by the internet and the NRA and the gun culture. So this is not the typical thing where, you know, a kid gets some therapy and he's dealing with a few personal issues. I mean, ideally, that's all there is to it. But he has been radicalized. Y'all talk about ISIS, but these other people are being radicalized by this gun culture in America and the NRA. And you nuts on the internet, who many are influenced also by these Russian bots. Let's get into his stuff. How much was he reading that was authentic that was a Russian bot versus what was a Russian bot? So I agree with Angela, but you know, it's more complicated than that. Because if you do a traditional approach, you'll help most. But what do you do with one who's being radicalized by ISIS and NRA?
Yes, that's different. Yes.
That's different because kids get expelled. They get expelled every day. They don't get online and say, I'm going to go back and shoot up a school. They don't do that. Time's up already. Lord have mercy. All right. Jorge, thank you, man.
Thanks, Mark.
Jorge, you come to work today?
I will be there.
Okay, we'll see.
Okay.
See you later. All right, folks. Share this conversation and stream. Continue to comment. Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Make it plain if you like in the thread, and we'll pick this up again tomorrow. If all minds are clear, it has been made plain.